Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with some late night Manchester United news for you. A cheeky little roundup of the day's goings on. Happy Monday, everybody. We will bring you all the latest news in regards to Manchester United and, of course, the Glazer shit houses and the potential sale of this football club as well, and what's going on with the latest and greatest there as well. So thank you all for joining us and getting in here for the start of the show, guys. Get in there, you legends. Let's go. Let's just do a few shout outs at the start of the show and say thank you very much to all of you for getting in here, waiting for us to get going. Hey, Berber, what's going on, you legend? The Cake Cadet, Wiggy's in here as well. Spooky Ghoul, let's be having you. Madhouse, Rajat, Cake Cadet, how you going? Outlaw Torn, Tad Bakes, Madhouse, Spooky, Aaron. Guys, let's get some love hearts in there for Aaron. He went to hospital today. He's not very well. Much love to you. Get well soon, Aaron. I hope you feel better soon, my friend. And rest yourself up there, dude. I hope the test goes well tomorrow as well. Shout out to you. Griffo, Chaz, King Kenny, Get Out, Wiggy, Elliot, F, C Talentless, Rajat, Theta, United Forever, Counter Debate, Jonathan Borg. Everybody, thank you very much for getting in here, and everybody else as well. Do us a favour at the start of this show. Smash that like button on this video. Give it a massive thumbs up. That will help this stream out and help the channel out no end. So drop a little thumbs up on it if you haven't done so. And let's get this sucker to 100 likes. Okay, so we've got plenty to discuss now, guys. The first order of the day is those absolute pesky Glazers. A.K.a. shithouses, A.K.a. leeches, A.K.a. parasites, A.K.a. cancerous polyps on the buttock of Manchester United. That's what they really are, and we all know this. And there's been some, I wouldn't say revelations, but there's been some movement in the reports of them potentially staying. I personally, I'm just going to say this right at the start of this, right before we even cover the news and what's been said. But I personally think that this is all just PR guff that's been put out there from the Glazer family, essentially, to try and, I don't know, put the frighteners up, the potential bidders, to try and maybe squeeze a few extra pounds out of these guys in their third round of bidding. We know that there will be a third round of bidding. Reportedly, bids are expected to be in and have to be in by the 28th of April deadline. So as long as that's still a possibility that there's bids in, the Glazers are going to try and squeeze as much as they possibly can get out of the deal. So I just want to say that I personally still think that these toads will sell Manchester United at some point. But make no mistakes, they're in no rush to sell Manchester United, because they just know that if they play silly buggers, if they make people sweat, then they can maybe get a few extra quid. And that's really what it comes down to for the Glazer shithouses. They don't care really if it stops Manchester United from progressing at the start of next season. They don't care if it takes a long time to, have safe passage to the new owners. They don't really care, as long as they get to run off into the sunset with an extra few million quid in that swag bag of theirs. They will be absolutely happy and over the moon. So let's just say that. I still think that these shithouses are going to sell, but ultimately, this is the latest news. So reports coming out from ESPN, Mark Ogden reporting that the Glazers are confident of Man United's stay, prospect of doubling the club value with outside investment. So we spoke about this 6 months ago when the Glazers announced that they would be looking into the options that are before them for Manchester United, either selling the club fully or potentially getting investment from outside sources and essentially spending other people's money to do the work that these wankers should have been doing a long time ago, i.e. improving the stadium's facilities and infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. So really, that's was always on the cards, because the Glazers did mention that previously. They mentioned that they would be exploring the possibility of a full sale of the football club, but also exploring the possibility of seeking outside investment. And if there is a lot of interest from outside investors to invest in Manchester United and put in a hefty amount of money, and the Glazers don't have to relinquish their stranglehold of Manchester United, can keep ownership and can keep milking this cash cow dry, then make no mistake, they will do that. So it depends how good these outside offers are and how much of the club they're going to have to give away, etc. But that is a possibility. That's always been a possibility. I still think they'll sell the football club. I still think it'll be a full sale. But if we're pretending that there's no possibility that they stay, then we're a little bit misguided, because, let's face it, these Glazer shit houses have done this many a time. There's been talks about them potentially, and they're still here. They're still here. So they are parasites, like we said. They do take a lot of money out of this football club, and they haven't invested any of their own money in this football club. They even bought the club with debt money, which wasn't theirs. So that's the sort of people we're dealing with here. Do they care if the new owners are not going to be in before the start of the new season? No. Do they care if they can keep hold of the football club and keep milking us dry if they get outside investment and appease the fan base by spending money in different areas that isn't theirs? I don't think they do, no. I think if they can get outside investment, which is large, then they will take that option, you know, if they can keep hold of the football club. And they'll just do some PR spin guff saying, hey, look, we're going to spend this and that and X and Y and Z on all sorts of different things, the club, the stadium, they'll get all the wheels in motion. But essentially, these wankers could keep hold of the football club. So that's not what we want. And this is what Gary Neville said about it a couple of days ago in regards to more reports coming out suggesting that there could be outside investment. So the Carlyle Group are supposedly interested, basically a giant US-based private equity firm. They were reportedly in talks to buy a large minority investment in Manchester United Football Club, adding it to the list of parties preparing new proposals before the deadline set by the Glazer family at the end of this month. And Gary Neville said essentially in response to this, no thank you, this doesn't work for United. The Glazer PR machine keeps leaking this type of minority partnership out there bi-weekly while stressing it's a confidential process. So Carlyle have reported that, you know, their interest as a global investment firm. We work together to create long-term value for our invested companies, shareholders, people, and communities. This is who they are. But anyway, so Gary Neville's absolutely right. The Glazers keep pumping out this guff, this PR guff every single couple of weeks to suggest that, oh, you know, there's potential for these outside investors to come in and buy, I don't know, 29% of the football club, and then we keep the stranglehold. But we'll give you exactly what you want, fans. We'll give all the fans what they want. We'll buy the players in the summer. We'll build the new stadium. We'll invest in the scouting network and the recruitment network and everything. You know, they'll do all that, but it's not what we want, guys. It's not what we want. Hashtag Glazers out. That's what we want. We want somebody who's got a one-minded vision of this football club, taking us forward to be the best that we can be. Not somebody who's just interested in spending other people's money whilst milking this football club, which is what they've done for the last 17 years. You know, we want them to sell the football club fully is essentially what's going on here. So I don't think that they will be too popular if they decide to stay at this football club. I think, in fact, their position would be almost untenable, really, in terms of staying at this football club. The amount of protest that will take place every single week would be huge. There would be disruption caused, I think, to league fixtures. Just look at that Liverpool game a couple of years back or a year back in regards to protest from the fan base. We've had enough, guys. The fans have had enough of Manchester United. We want our club back. And nobody will really tolerate a partial investment or, you know, them seeking outside investment but keeping the club. We only want them to go. We only want a full sale of this football club. So there it is, really, guys. I mean, and actually, it's sort of hurting them at the moment in some ways, because look at this. I mean, the share prices have reportedly tanked today. So this is reported by Reuters a few hours ago. And reported by Reuters a few hours ago that shares of Manchester United PLC fell 13% on Monday after a report that the Glazer family was confident of securing an investment that would allow them to retain ownership of the British soccer club. This is from Reuters. And, you know, Sky News also reporting that, and various different outlets are reporting that that's the case, that there's been a big drop in share prices from Manchester United today, just at the sheer thought and the sheer mention of the Glazers staying at this club. So there's all this hype, there's all this extra added value due to the fact that this is a sleeping giant of a football club. And if those Glazer wank pieces were to go, instantly we'd have all the shackles taken off and we could be back at the top pantheon of greats again, competing for all trophies, competing for everything that we possibly can be. And so therefore the price had previously been inflated because everyone thought that these Glazer shithouses would be leaving. But due to reports from ESPN and various different other places now, the shares have tanked. So, you know, it's like, what are they doing here? They're playing a bit of a funny old PR game. That's what it is. They're prepared to wait and wait and wait and wait in order to try and seek extra money from the potential bidders of this football club. That's what I think. I really, truly don't think that they will be getting outside investment because, like I said, the backlash would be huge if the Glazers were to stay at this club. They would be waging war with the fan base on a weekly basis, I think. I think it would be very much a horrible position that they're in. So I don't think they will stay at this football club, guys. This isn't just a normal business. This isn't a software company or an energy company or an oil company. This is a club, a football club that has a passionate fan base. It's different to any other sort of business. And if you piss off that passionate fan base enough, you're going to get a reaction. And it's not going to be a nice reaction. So I think that they probably know this. I think that they're just biding their time. I think that they're just putting this PR machine guff out there at the moment to try and increase the amount of money that they can get from potential bidders. So I wouldn't panic too soon at the moment, guys. But it is an absolute disgrace and a nonsense, and Roy Keane would be throwing punches at them if he was on there in their office. He would not be happy at all with what's going on, I'm sure, because we know the game that they're playing here, guys. It's more PR spin to try and drop out a few extra shekels. They're a disgrace and a nonsense, honestly. Here's a little bit more on Mark Ogden's article, basically. And just, there is supposedly a bit of disarray, a bit of disjointed harmony in regards to the Glazer family. Some want to sell, some don't want to sell. So that's maybe what's making this sort of come to the fore at the moment, the fact that they might seek outside investment and stay. But report here from Mark Ogden that says that Joel and Avram Glazer favour new investment that will enable them to remain in charge at Old Trafford, with the siblings and fellow directors Kevin, Brian, Edwin and Darcy Glazer Kasovitz offloading their stakes in the club. So it sounds like some of the Glazer shithouses want to keep their shares and their stake in the club, and a couple of the Glazer shithouses don't. They want to keep their stranglehold on the football club and remain in charge. That's what it looks like at the moment. So there is a little bit of varying reports coming out there, and it does seem like there's a bit of a split between the Glazer camp. But ultimately, their position, like I say, I think would become extremely unpleasant if they stayed beyond the start of next season. Now, I've got a little poll running in the live chat, guys, and I'd love you guys to have a little vote on it, see what it gets to at the end. But I've got a little poll running, and the poll question is, do the Glazers sell this season, i.e. before the end of this season? You know, by the time the last ball is kicked. Will they have sold the football club by then? Get your votes in the live chat. I would like to think yes, but the reason is, you know, it's probably a no, if we're being honest. It probably will go on into the summer, and it will shackle and it will hinder Manchester United starting to build for next season. It will probably go on to the summer, but let's have a little vote on what you guys think in the live chat, please do. And also, let's just have a vote on this really quickly while I've got your attention. Everyone, so, Glazers full sale or outside investment, and they keep it? What do you think is the most likely outcome for these shithouse Glazers? You're seeing all of these reports coming out in regards to them potentially looking for outside investors to stay, but is it just PR nonsense for them to generate more cash for a full sale? So let's have a vote in the live chat. Full sale or outside investment? Which do you think is going to happen? Part sale, says Andy. They ain't leaving, says Indy. Hopefully they go for full sale, says Rajat. Brad Wright thinks it's going to be a full sale. It's very tough, isn't it, to know, but hopefully that's the case. Full sale, says Duncan. Booty says, yes, they will. Meanwhile, the skip rats will be left with FSG. Full sale, BS, says Dutch Christ. Investment, says Madhouse. No idea. Don't know what's on the Glazers' mind, says Scott05. Well, I'll tell you something now, guys. I'll tell you something now. Listen, if the Glazers shithouses do stay at this football club, I'm sorry, we do have to make it ridiculously unpleasant for them. Well, you know that Liverpool game where the fans have surrounded the stadium? You know, get fucking rolling roadblocks on the bloody roads beforehand. You know, it's not illegal. Just rolling roadblocks, go 2 miles an hour. Don't let these fucking coaches get to the stadiums and stuff like this. You need forward planning, proper thinking going on here. You know, you need to have a full-on disruption for them so that they ultimately lose money. And nobody wants to see United punished or not be able to fulfill games and lose points and all this sort of stuff and potentially have abandoned games. Nobody wants that. But if fundamentally it means that we get these parasites out of the football club sooner rather than later, I think we could take it on the chin for a little while. It needs to happen. There needs to be a full-scale protest, really. You see the stadiums 99% full, even during protests, or certainly 90% full. That's not the message that needs to be sent. The message that needs to be sent is we will not tolerate this anymore. And you can protest. The best way to protest, really, would be with your bums on seats. Don't be putting your bums on the seats. If your bums are on the seats, then they're still getting their money. They're still laughing all the way to the bank. If they were to have an empty stadium every single week, it would be covered by the media worldwide. They would have share prices tanking and sinking non-stop. And it would give them the kick in the ghoulies that they need in order to potentially get the fuck out of our football club and sell. So, you know, let's not stop this in regards to the Glazers out. Let's get a hashtag Glazers out in the chat and some green and gold emojis. Here's a little something from the 1958 on Twitter, which I want to put up on the screen here. The 1958 have tweeted just, 6 days ago that we announce our next protest. It will be the 30th of April, home to Villa. We held back for a reason. Now you know why. We called this way back in November. Plans and details to follow. You are either with the fans or you are with Glazers. For you, for us, for each other, the 1958. And I think that we have to, we have to respect that. We have to say that that is basically something that needs to happen. There needs to be protests at each home game. There needs to be, an outright defiance of this potential Glazer shithousery of them keeping the club. We don't want them here, guys. We want a full sale of a football club to somebody that's going to spend and invest and give us what we want as a fan base and actually shepherd the club in the right way. What good is it having these guys who just are caring only about the money? We'd much rather have owners that want to try and make us successful on the pitch and to win and to give us everything that we deserve as United fans. Man United, whether or not people like to admit it or not, is an absolute global phenomenon when it comes to football. Football is the world's most popular sport. Manchester United is England's best team in the history of the game. And the fact that we are shackled, the fact we're hindered by a bunch of American owners, it's just an absolute disgrace. It should have never have even been allowed in the first place. But we can do something about it now by speaking with your feet, speaking with your voices, and shouting up and saying Glazers out. It's easy to say, but it's also easy to do, really. It's easy to do, really, as well. So, in my opinion, protest is the only way until these guys are going to go. I think that they'll get the message once these shares keep going down in price. They're in a very luxury position right now. They've got the world and their dog interested in buying this football club for huge, huge money. And they stand to make a huge profit if they sell the 69% that they've got in the club. But let's not let them get a little bit brave here. Let's not let them think, oh shit, these people are offering us X amount of money and we get to stay and we get to still milk Manchester United for the foreseeable future, and we don't have to spend a damn penny of our money because the outside investors are going to spend it. We don't want them to have that mentality, that mindset, which it seems like, judging by some of these reports, take it with a pinch of salt, but judging by some of these reports, that's the case. We don't want that. We want them to sell the football club fully. So that's really where I'm at, guys. But you're right, Malps comments and says the Glazers don't care. The Glazers don't care about this club or the fan base. I agree with you, mate. It's not a normal company, but this club has fans. This club has passionate people involved that put their heart and soul into supporting the football club. And the reality is they don't care about that. But you can make them care about it. Can make them care about it. What they do care about is money. If you don't buy the merchandise, if you don't buy the tickets, if you don't go to the games, if you surround the bloody stadium and stop the games taking place, then they're losing out on match day revenue and TV deals and sponsorship deals and affected and impacted. Then they're losing out where it matters to them at the bottom line. Then trust me, they'll start to care. They'll start to care. But as long as this club is super profitable for them and makes money and they can siphon money out of the club, they will want to keep this football club. So, unless there becomes a point when the offer on the table from a new owner is just too good to refuse. And at the moment, we've seen 2 rounds of bidding that has taken place. The first round, I guess, just putting the feelers out there. The second round, improved offers from people like Sheikh Jassim, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. You've seen people pull out, like that Ziliakis or whatever has pulled out. He said he's not interested. His bid was guff anyway, but he said he's not interested in entertaining this farce that's taking place at the Glazers, just blatant profiteering, trying to squeeze as much money out of this club sale as they possibly can. But there is a third round of bidding that's taken place, guys, and that's going to be a deadline of April 28th. Now, hopefully that is the final set of bids, and hopefully the Glazers look at the offers at the table and they say, yes, we'll go with this potential bidder, we'll go with this person, we'll go with this consortium, we'll go with this group, and they do sell. But let's just hope that the investment from outside sources, i.e. the outside investment where the Glazers retain their ownership, isn't a better deal for them, because that could quite easily be the case. If the outside investment is, say, oh, we take 20% of football club, we give you 2 billion, they might go, you know what, value-wise, that's value in our club at 10 billion. That's more than the 6 billion or the 5.5 billion we can get for a full sale. Cheeky 2 billy, let's go. That's on the cards as well, guys. We don't know the full extent of these outside investment offers that are on the table. So that's still on the table as well, which is a big concern. We want them to sell the football club fully, but there is an outside chance that they might seek outside investment and stay. Okay, but there are bids on the table, guys. It's a negotiation, isn't it? So it takes time, especially with a club like United, especially when you're dealing with toads like the Glazers. There's going to be a series of bids. There's going to be a series of knockbacks. There's going to be a dialogue. There's going to be negotiations. You start low, they start high, you meet somewhere in the middle. That's how it's got to be, really, on this one. So it was always going to take a little bit of time. Let's hope that there's still a full sale is strongly on the cards. Guys, do us a favor if you're just getting in the stream right now. We're nearly at 100 likes. We've got 171 people watching. We're on 87 likes. That's exactly half the amount of people watching. You what? We can do better than that, my friends. Bacon Brigade, assemble and hit that thumbs up button on this video. Let's get this sucker past 100 likes. Share it around far and wide as well. We're trying to raise the awareness of the hashtag Glazers Out agenda right now that we've got against the Glazers. So give it a share around, guys, on social media. Smash that like button if you haven't done so, and hit the subscribe button if you're new, and get involved and have your say in the live chat. Nice one. So yeah, as I'm saying, guys, it's basically a full sale or nothing as far as I'm concerned. That's really where I'm at. I'm sure a lot of you guys are at the same place in your mind as well, because we don't want them to keep the stranglehold of the club. And at the moment, this report from Reuters suggests, this will be some sort of interesting thinking going on here for the Glazers. So the share price of Manchester United has fallen 13% just at the mere thought of those toads staying at this club. So it's going to go one of a few ways, guys. They either keep hold of the football club, the shares absolutely tank, the revenue goes down because people just don't want them as owners anymore, and we have enough, and people start speaking with their feet, and, all that kind of stuff. And then they are less likely to be able to generate cash for investments in commercial enterprises and things like that. Or they seek outside investment, which could happen. Maybe they get a big offer for a couple of billion for a decent percentage of the football club, but they retain the stranglehold. That would be very appealing to them. Essentially, they are businessmen, aren't they? Like I've just mentioned, if they get a good offer that maybe works out percentage-wise better than a full sale, why wouldn't they want to keep the football club? They get what they want, a couple of billion in the bank maybe, and but they still retain the club. I mean, they're businessmen, so that is a strong possibility. And the other possibility is a full sale of the football club, which is what we all want. So that's where we're at, guys. It's not a very nice conversation to have. Reports are coming out far and wide that they are seeking outside investment, and there's still a possibility that they may stay. So we have to take it seriously. Me personally, I think it's mostly just a PR spin and a bit of guff from the Glazers and the hierarchy, really, in order to try and squeeze more money out for these bidders that are going to have to put in their final bids, or certainly their third bids for the club at the end of April. Let's just ask the chat, guys, who do you think starts the season as owner at Manchester United in 2023-2024 season? Who starts the season as owner? So that could mean that there's still a sale on the cards, but are they going to still be here in a few months' time? Who starts the season, 23-24 season, as owner? Will it be Sheikh Jassim? Will it be Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Will it be somebody else? Or will it be those shithouse Glazers still here strangling this football club? Qatari says Berber. Glazers probably says Scott. Glazer says Real Killers. Altani says Malps. Donald Trump says Dave Keating. Richard Simmons says How Lawtorn. You what? Glazers says King Kenny. Phil Jones says Ed. Qatar says Rory. Glazer says Madhouse. Glazer says Nikolai Lindquist. Yeah, wild shout. It'll be Ronaldo, says Tackler Bell. Jim Ratcliffe on loan, then Qatar investment can come, says Raja. Glazer says Ryan. Sheikh Jassim says Dutch Christ. Qatar says Duncan. Qatari says Dublin Games. Interesting. Vince McMahon. Not with that moustache, mate. I wouldn't have him anywhere near United now. He's got that moustache, bro. You know what I mean? Qatar says Vincent Bullock. So there you go. Look, we just want other people in here. But if you actually look at that vote that we've just conducted, it just goes to show you not a lot of people have a lot of faith in the Glazers selling this football club in a timely fashion. Most people said the Glazers, unfortunately, then, when we had a little vote there. Most people said the Glazers. So I think we've got to think about that as a possibility. They don't care if it's slow. I don't think they even care if they piss off this huge fan base either, to be fair. I mean, I do think it could get pretty leery for the Glazers, though. It's one thing to surround the stadium. I mean, look at what happened at Ed Woodward's house a couple of years back. Do you remember that, guys? People chucking flares in his back garden and a mob of 100 people turning up at his gaff. I mean, he wasn't actually there at the time, I don't think. But it was to stop a supporters group, whoever, from chartering a plane and flying over to Florida or New York or wherever and taking the protest to their front door. Who's to stop that from happening? So I honestly think that's the sort of thing that could perhaps happen if they don't sell the football club, because nobody's going to be happy with them staying. They're actually playing with people's emotions now. They're not just playing with people's money. They're playing with our emotions as fans for this football club. So that's really what they should be worried about, I think, is pissing off this fan base. Not just appeasing this fan base for getting outside investment, but they should be worried about pissing off this fan base. Zayn Miassi, here he is. Zayn Miassi getting in here with a super chat. Thank you, Zayn Miassi. Let's get a Sue in the live chat for him there. Thank you so much there, Zayn Miassi. Speaking out of his assy. Let's see what he's got to say. He says, if the Glazers stay, what will your budget for the summer be? Does that mean you will be getting more Weghorsts? Our budget is 250 million, and we need backup for Partey and Saliba holding garbage. Yeah, fair enough. Do you know what, Zayn? If we had the Glazers to stay for the summer, which is a strong possibility, they might not have sold the football club by then. Well, they'll probably spend, the bare minimum, 100 million, 150 million. They're not going to spend nothing because then they really would have, a huge amount of people on their case. But they would spend a bare minimum, mate. And a club like Manchester United, I'm sorry to say 100 million is absolutely the bare minimum. Man United should be strengthening in all areas. We should be spending 300 million in this transfer window, though. With new owners like Qataris coming in with their backing and their money, we should absolutely be spending a few hundred million because we should be going out there and getting a couple of top strikers, a couple of top midfielders, and a couple of top defenders in all fairness as well, which is going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost the best part of a few hundred million. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Glazer shithouses were very scrimpy and savvy in the summer. They won't spend nothing. If they were still here, if their true intention was to stay beyond this season, they're not going to just spend nothing. That's silly. I mean, let's ask the live chat, guys. What do you think the budget would be for Ten Hag if the Glazers decide we're staying? It's an interesting point you bring up, Zane, which is rare for you, lad. But it's an interesting point you bring up. I certainly think a lot less, probably half as much as what we would spend if we had new owners in here. They'll spend something just to try and appease the fan base if they were here. 4 million, says Outlaw Torn. 100 million, says Berber. 150 to 200, says ETH. 125, says Taco. 150, says Scott. Zamiassi with another super chat says, will your budget be bigger than the next Avatar movie? Get out, Zamiassi. Stop it. Go and hold hands with James Cameron, you absolute mug. What's your problem, mate? Why are you always talking about the Avatar movie? It does my head in. Zamiassi, I'm not interested. But in regards to the amount of money, right? In regards to the amount of money that they spend, they will spend money, guys, if they were to stay here. They're not just going to not spend anything. Look at actually the last few years. Look at the last 10 years. They have spent money. To say that they haven't spent money on players is actually incorrect. To say they spent it badly is correct. To say they've not spent in any other areas of the club is correct. But to say they haven't spent money on players on the face of it is actually wrong. Because they have done that. Even last summer they spent over £200 million on players for Ten Hag. So it's not like they haven't spent money on players. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about guiding the club properly from the top down in all different areas, not just spunking money on the shop window and letting people think that you're spending money. So that's different to what we actually want. We want outside investment. We want investment from new owners in all different areas of the football club. In regards to the players, yeah, we need to spend and we need to get loads of new players in there. There's a couple of different ways we go about it. There's the low budget shithouse Glazer option in the summer, which always leaves us wanting for a player or two. They do spend money, but just with a little asterisk here that they don't spend enough money and they don't get us all of what we need. If we had ambition to go and get all of what we need, we wouldn't have been in the position where we're scratching around and signing Wout Weghorst in the January transfer window, would we, like Zamiassi's just said? You know, there would be an element of, budget options if the Glazers stay. Whereas what we should be looking for is going to sign people like Bellingham, going to sign people like Kane, Osimhen, De Jong. These sorts of signings should be what are on the cards, not cheap budget Poundland signings. So yes, that's on the cards. If the Glazers were to stay, they would probably spend quite a lot, but not nearly enough. They wouldn't go and replace Harry Maguire with an absolute boss centre-back. They wouldn't go and replace, the midfield players like McTominay and Fred, who are good, but they're not great. And actually, when I say good, I mean Gash, who are not great. They wouldn't go and sign Kane and another top-quality striker. But if we got, say, Sheikh Jassim and Qatari back involved at the football club, I think they would. I think they'd have a monster summer. They would want to prove their point. Kind of like Todd Bowley did at Chelsea. And I'm not saying what he's done's good because they've done shite and they're in mid-table guff. Get in there. Oh, it cheers me up every time I think about it, actually. But, he did spend a lot of money, though, didn't he? And you can't really deny that. We're talking about hundreds of millions here. That's the sort of impact, that's the sort of amount of money that the new owners, if we got them, would spend, i.e. Qataris. But if that doesn't happen, then yes, we're going to have a bit more of a scrimpy sort of a summer under the Glazer shithouses. And actually, I don't think they do spend hardly anything. They'll spend something, but I don't think they'll spend that much until they decided whether they're staying or going. I don't see us going out there and getting marquee signings. It puts Ten Hag and it puts United's recruitment team in a very tricky position right now, actually. As in, what's going to happen? Like, are we planning for next season yet? We should be. We should be planning for next season now, so that when the window opens, we can just go straight out there and sign new players right at the start of the window. You know, lay the seeds now, get the players lined up, get them signing on the first day of the transfer window. That's what a proper club would do. Man United never does that, very rarely. We always drag it on all summer long anyway. And if the Glazers are still here and if they're in limbo about whether or not they're going to sell the football club, they're not going to put the seeds in place, are they, for us to actually get these players in early? So that's what's going on. Zamy Ashley, thank you for another super chat. Let's get a shithouse emoji in the live chat. Thank you, Zamy Ashley, for your support on the channel, though, bro, and having your say. Zane, what's he got to say this time? He says, Gary Neville, Lineker, James O'Brien are champagne socialists. When Starmer wins, they can lobby him to nationalise football teams and have gender-neutral teams. Fucking hell, Zane. Are you really... What are you on, Zane Miassi? Do you know what I mean? This is a football chat. We're talking about the Glazers. You're getting all political, mate. You're bringing gender into this as well. You know, you're bringing socialists and stuff into this, mate. What the fuck is the matter with you, mate? You know what I'm saying? I've got no comment for you there, Zane Miassi, mate. I'm staying on the football here, bud. I'm not talking about this guff you want me to talk about, Zane Miassi. So, you know, wind your neck in, bud. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. We're talking about Manchester United. For a start, you're an Arsenal scumbag anyway, bud. Your opinion means absolutely nothing around here. That's fucking it, mate. That's it, mate. Fucking yellow card for Zamy Assi, mate. Oh, your name's going in the book, lad. Your name's going in the book. ZEINMY hyphen ASSSSSSI. Okay? You are in the book now, mate. Steady on, sir. Otherwise you will be sent. Oh, my goodness me. Zamy Assi, please keep your hair on, bud. This is a football chat. We're talking about football here. We're talking about Manchester United, the greatest club in the world. We're not interested in opinions from Arsenal scumbags about such useless information anyway. Thank you. Oh. Andy Young says, Pig, protests aren't enough. That's been proven over the last 10 years. We need full-on rioting. Let all sponsors be scared and pull away. Destroy all the Glazer revenue streams and force them out. Well, okay, I'm not going to really agree with you there, Andy. Rioting is a little bit extreme, isn't it, bud? But certainly, big protests, you know, look at that Liverpool game, bud. Why can't you do that every single week? Yeah, they're up the level of policing in Greater Manchester or whatever, but, you know, in reality, that could happen every single week, mate. You could make it so these games don't happen, so that the Glazers lose money and they feel it in their back pocket, which is all they care about. You know, they only care about their back pocket, guys. If they are losing money, they're going to take note. They're going to sell. They've already lost 13% of the price of the shares of Manchester United today, guys. So, and that's just at the possibility of them staying. They're businessmen. They will get a big offer from these guys at the end of the month to take the football club on and sell the football club for the Glazers. They will get some big offers. A third round of bidding. They'll get big offers. It's just whether or not those offers are attractive enough to get them to run off into the sunset, or they get good offers for outside investment. That might happen if they were to receive big offers, billions of pounds to be injected into the football club, but they can stay here. They'll probably do that. And then they can say, hey, look, guys, what are you talking about, fan base who are angry? We're spending about $2 billion on a stadium. We're spending $300 million on players this season. And a lot of the fan base will probably just go, oh, okay, then, well, we're getting exactly what we want, you know. So, you know, well, who cares who's actually got the deeds to the club? I fucking care, guys. And a lot of you guys care as well, because we know that they don't have the best interest of the club at heart. So, yes, even if they do seek outside investment and get huge money to spend on all areas, it's not good enough for me, really. We want somebody who's got a proper mind of getting to United back to the best that we can be. We've smashed 100 likes on the stream, by the way. Thank you, Vutinator, for the likes tally. Hit the like button on the stream, guys. Smash that like. Hit the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get 150 likes. Drop a little like on it. You know it makes sense. Diang Shan, thank you for getting your highlighted member comment in here and being a member for 9 months as well. Diang, let's get a hashtag 9 in there for Diang Shan. Thank you very much, Diang Shan. I hope you're doing well, and thanks for supporting this channel, mate. Top lad, top lad. Okay, so I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes and just see what some of you guys are saying about this whole situation with the Glazers and these reports that are coming out. Here's the reports. I'll just get it up on the screen. The main one from ESPN that reports that the Glazers are confident of a United stay, prospect of doubling the club value with outside investment. Okay, so that's the sort of big headline of the day. I personally think it's PR guff in order to generate more cash for a potential sale. But we'll have to wait and see. But let's get into the live chat, see what you legends got to say about this. We do have a little couple of pieces of other Manchester United news that we'll cover in a minute as well. But before we do, let's see what you legends are saying. Berber says they care for United the same way a farmer who raises pigs for food cares about them, says Berber. That's interesting, actually. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I would say that it might not even be that much. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes these piggies get, decent conditions. What they are is like a slum pig farmer. Do you know what I mean? Where they just, have them, they're almost like, they're veal farmers, mate. They've got little baby cows in cages. They can't move around. They can't turn around, mate. That's what's going on with these tossers. They're fucking veal farmers, bud. They're a disgrace, aren't they? You're right, though, bub. I love the analogy. Chloe Jenkins says outside investment would want to make a profit. They won't be doing it for fun, says Chloe Jenkins. Oh, that's the idea, isn't it? Yes, if they got good value in their investment. So say they want to put in, 2 billion and they get 20% of the football club. Over the next 10 years, that 2 billion they've put in, it could be worth a huge amount in 10 years' time with the way football's going. And, it's not getting any less, is it, this football club value? So it's an investment from whoever would be investing. That's the key word, really. So they would want to get profit, and they would have, obviously, a big share of the profits every single year. So it's an investment is what it is. They're not going to make money straight away. But these people who are looking to seek outside investment or put outside investment into the football club will be doing it with a long-term vision of making money. You're absolutely right. OHB says, Piggy, how the fuck did Kappa get on Tots community vote? Who the fuck has done that? Oh, no idea, OHB. Trolls? Yeah, Rushmano absolutely says, join us on the 30th at Old Trafford. This is our club and it's time. Great shout there, the Don. I was just saying about that earlier. So to reiterate, there is a planned protest on the 30th of April, home to Villa. Rushman, I hope you're doing good, lad. He says, we held back for a reason. Now you know why. We called this way back in November. Plans and details to follow. You are either with the fans or with the Glazers. So, guys, you can protest with your feet, can't you? You can protest with your bums on seats. And you can protest outside the stadium, loud and proud. Glazers out banners, green and gold, until the club is sold. That's really what needs to happen. Completely agree with you. Thank you, Rushman, getting in here. F says, would you take a Chelsea season to get the Glazers out, Pig? Fans would turn on Eric Ten Hag, sadly. Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. I've said before, and it might sound extreme, I would take a season relegated in the Championship. I would take a shit season where we finish in last place in the Prem and another season in the Championship if it meant the Glazers would go. Honestly, that might sound a bit extreme, but then we could actually start to plan. The thing is with Manchester United is, if we got proper owners in, we're just a sleeping giant that wakes up instantly. All of a sudden, we've got all the ability to attract all the best players in the world. We've got the ability to win the league. We've got the ability to have the biggest, most passionate fan base in the world. So, you know, one bad season is nothing compared to the 10 bad seasons that we've already had. Do you know what I mean? So it might sound a bit extreme, but it's true. I would honestly take a step back if it meant that we could move forward with new owners who actually cared. Vincent Bullock says, Pig, some people when going games need to check their receipts because this week and last week people got charged for food they never had, that more money in the Glazers' pockets. Are you serious, Vincent Bullock? Are you joking me, Vincent? Vincent goes to a lot of games. Are you serious? You've been charged for money? You've been charged money for food you haven't even had? That's a disgrace, lad. What a Glazeronomic move that is. Pick that up, Boris Johnson, says Rush Up. Yes, the Glazers are buffoons and a total protoplasmic convertible jellies of men. This is true. Berber says Championship for a year would be fun. It would be a full stadium. If the Glazers went, we had different owners in the Championship, it'd be a full stadium. You win every game 5-0. And then in a year's time, you'd be back challenging for the league title in the Premier League again. Man United would be a huge trial. I mean, that's not going to happen, obviously. But that's what I would do. That's what I would take, I would say, if it guaranteed that those tossers would go. But we don't need to do that. We just need to stay strong, stick together as a fan base, and make it known that these tossers can't and won't stay. And therefore, their prices will go down in terms of the shares, their value of the club will go down. Also, their ability to make money will go down. If people aren't going to games, if people aren't buying the merch, if people aren't buying the food at the stadium, people aren't doing all this sort of stuff, then they're going to be impacted where it hurts them. And then it will have a knock-on effect. If there's a lot of bad PR surrounding United, That's going to affect sponsorship deals, commercial revenue. It's going to affect a lot of things. So they're businessmen. If you hurt them where it hurts them, they will walk away. Kieran, thank you very much for supporting this channel for 10 months, my lad. Get in there, you don. Thank you very much, Kieran. I appreciate you for being a member of this channel for 10 whole months, guys. Can we get a hashtag 10 in the live chat for Kieran? And he's used his member comment very wisely here. Love it, Kieran. He says, hashtag Glazers out. Spot on, lad. Thank you so much for getting in here there, Kieran. I appreciate you supporting the channel for 10 months and for raising awareness for the Glazers outs. Fuck 'em. Man United has said the door is open for Ahmed to join the Man United first team. Yeah, well, there you go, Bristolian Mackham. He seems to be having a great season for you guys, doesn't he? What's it? You said 12 goals now this season. I mean, I haven't been following the championship, but it certainly sounds like Ahmad Diallo's having a good one there. Ryan says, Pig, did you see what happened at the snooker? I did, mate. I was watching it live while it happened, mate, actually. They didn't really show it properly on the BBC anyway. But, yeah, so somebody came on, protesters, and chucked a whole bunch of powder paint, like orange powder paint, all over one of the snooker tables. Pretty nutty at the World Championships, guys. Pretty nutty, and then they had to stop play on that stadium. I mean, you know, what's to stop? No joke here. What's to stop 70,000 fans doing that on a large scale at Old Trafford? I'm sorry, you know, okay, look, protest, you know, there's a way to protest. Okay, that was a bit of a knobby way to protest, wasn't it? Because it stops the whole affair. But in this instance, you know, it actually worked. It actually had the effect of it stopped play. And it's still, that match that was on that table wasn't able to be continued. And so, therefore, it achieved what they wanted, and it probably got a lot of exposure. I mean, I actually don't know who did it. What was that in the name of? Does anybody know? Because the BBC certainly didn't want to say what it was all about. They just carried on. They did not want to say what it was about. But if everybody knew there was a large-scale protest on the go at Old Trafford, and that, you know, it was the Glazers out protest, that gets picked up all around the world. Does anybody know it was a Stop Oil one, was it? One of those stop oil things. Ah, God. Fair enough. There you go. Reminder not to open a pack of Watsits at the snooker, says Crypto Chats. Hey, Rice Burnett says, what's your thoughts on the Sun saying that Newcastle owners are going to buy 4 elite players? Rice, Cavendona is on the list. Osserman is 2, and they did. Yeah, well, probably will happen. I would imagine Newcastle will spend big this summer, Rice. They've had a great season under Eddie Howe. Couldn't have gone any better, really. They'll get top 4 by the looks of it because Spurs are such bottle jobs. There's still a bit of the season left. They slipped up against Villa, but Spurs are such bottle jobs. I imagine Newcastle get top 4, which means that they can attract a very good standard of player in the summer, and they've got so much money backing behind them. Yeah, they probably will be signing a lot of really good players in the summer. Yeah, absolutely, Jamie Todd. I'll be wrapping up when I'm good and ready, lad. Pig, the Glazers support Stop Oil, says Andy Young. Well, there you go. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, mate. They're absolute scum. I mean, in regards to, it doesn't surprise me. The PR machine that they put out there, they're just absolute scum. Simon says, I would rather spill paint over the Glazers. A lovely shade of yellow would suit them. Absolutely, yellow and green. That would be the way to go, wouldn't it? Shout out Sally, Jeff, Leah and Daryl. Indeed. Nanny, Super and Grampy and the kids. Are you all watching, are you, Nathan Harry? Shout out to all the Harrys right there. I'm not doing FIFA tonight, Rice Burnett, no. Rush Bonner says, it was Stop the One show. I agree, it's total shit, says Rush Bonner. Sounds absolutely guff, doesn't it? But there's things that are worth protesting for, guys. And certainly, there's things that can be highlighted and picked up all around the world. And if Manchester United fans properly protested about the stranglehold of the Glazers, then it would get picked up and it would have a knock-on effect, i.e. share prices tanking significantly. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get into the, thank you everyone for getting in here with your thoughts. I'm going to get into the next couple of pieces of news we've got in a moment, actually, after I read Stay Gold's comment here. He's got a highlighted comment in here. Thanks for being a member 3 months, you legend. He says, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Hashtag Glazers out. Love you, Piggy. Thank you, Stay Gold. Yeah, well, they don't want to communicate, though, do they? Because they don't want to actually say, hey, we're thinking about keeping the club. That's not what they want. They don't want the fan base literally turning up at their gaff, armed with an alligator in the Everglades of Florida, do they? They don't want that. So, you know, let's be honest, they will keep the cards very close to their chest until they've decided what they're going to do. They may seek outside investment and they may take that option. They may sell the football club fully if the offers are good enough. Or they may just keep it as is because they're a bunch of scum liars. And I really don't think that, you know, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised with any of those outcomes. That's all I'm saying. We don't actually know what their thinking is. And like we said a moment ago, some of the Glazers are reportedly interested in selling and some of the Glazers reportedly are interested in keeping. And so when you have a bit of a split, it's like, how do you really truly know which way it's going to go? So there you go. I'm going to get into the next bit of news then, guys. Just a few little pieces of information in regards to United. This is a rundown of the day's news. Then we'll get into the comment section for a few minutes. And then we will end the show in a bit. But as always, smack the likes on the video, guys. It helps the channel out. It's just a free like. That's all we ask around here. And it helps us compete with clickbait wankers, corporation channels, and clickbait melters. I've already said that, but it's worth saying twice. And prannies. So do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button. It's free and it helps the channel. And also smash that subscribe button, because you know what? We're not that far away from getting to 71,000 subscribers right now. We are currently 24 people away, guys. 24 people away from getting to 71,000 subscribers. So make sure you smash the subscribe button if it's your first time here, and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section afterwards as well. Right, so a little couple of pieces of info, guys. Then we'll get back into the chat. But Fabrizio Romano reporting 13 hours ago, he says, understand Alexis McAllister and his camp consider summer move as 100% guaranteed. The expectation is for an early transfer. Alexis will give his best for Brighton until June. Liverpool and Man United will discuss with player side soon. So this is from Fab earlier. Supposedly we were interested in Alexis McAllister at Brighton. Good player, guys. Absolutely. We could do a lot worse. He's a good player. Would you take him at the club? Yes or no, folks? Me personally, I would. But as I said previously, I feel like if we had like new owners come in and they've got hundreds of millions kitty to spend in the summer, we should be going for the top players in world football here in this next summer transfer window to try and really help us. Not just good players. And I think he is a good player. But, you know, I want us to go out there and get like some very good players, some quality players. I want to see a summer that consists of Kane and Bellingham and De Jong and players like this, Jurriën Timber coming in for Ten Hag and players like this. I don't want to see necessarily us just going for options, you know, that are available. Even players like that we've talked about previously, like Ruben Neves, you know, they're a bit further down the pecking order. They're good options. But I want us to see us go and have proper ambition this summer. So for me, it's kind of an okay, but it's also a no. Yeah, McAllister is excellent, says Rushmano. Yeah, but, you know, he's a good player. I rate him. He's done a very good season, you know, for Argentina as well. He's a good player. But we can do better than that, if you ask me. We can do better than that. Palhinha is a great shout, to be fair, Big Wing. So that is actually a decent shout, lad. Not bad. But again, you know, there's levels to this game, isn't there? It's like, are we going to invest in something like Palhinha? Or are we going to invest in something like, say, Bellingham, who might cost a shitload more, but has got such a long period in the game for us, over a decade, and has the ability to develop into one of the absolute best players in the world. I mean, I definitely think a player like Palhinha would be fantastic for us, though, you know, to deputise for the likes of Casemiro, because we need depth. So I agree. But, you know, I want to see us have proper ambition this summer. Okay, so there's a piece of information for you. Also, Phil Jones' body has given up. I think it gave up a long time ago, to be fair, but he is unable to return from his latest injury, which began on Erik Ten Hag's first day of training. He will leave the club in the summer. This is a report from transfers_UTD. I don't know if you've seen reports about Phil Jones having an injury again. This guy's an absolute melter. I mean, what the fuck is this guy even still doing at this club, guys? He needs a kick up the arse, doesn't he, into Kettering Town starting 11. Honestly, I can't understand how he's still here, but he is. He got that new deal quite a while ago, and it's just quite bizarre that he's even still at the football club. Absolutely bizarre. Let's have a look at transfer market real quick. So his contract expires at the end of this season, guys, thankfully, and he has a current value of £2 million, as per reported here by transfermarket.co.uk. Me personally, I wouldn't give you tuppence halfpenny for him, guys. That's an old school reference there. That's like 2p or something, guys, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't give you 2p for the guy. You know, he is absolutely terrible. His mentality is shot. Yeah, exactly. He's on a huge money as well. 80k a week, says Rushmano. What a disgrace. So there you go. Get your Phil Jones emojis in the live chat, guys. He's a complete calamity, and it's time that he went. He's just a meme. So there you go. He's not going to be featuring for us, it seems, between now and the end of the season. I don't think he's even registered to play in the squad, is he? So he might be in the Europa or something, but I don't think he is in the league. He's just literally, they've just chucked him in the janitor's closet and given him a desk in there, and they've told him to just stay quiet until the summer, basically, and then he's going to do one. And he's just constantly injured. He's constantly feigning injury. I start to believe that these injuries are not even legit. I start to believe that he's just putting them on. You know, like he's just a sick note extraordinaire, and he just doesn't want to do it anymore. That's the impression I get anyway. Yeah, there you go. He can't play. He's not registered. Precisely, Rushy. So there you go. You know, what a waste of a 80k a week. What a waste of a player. Let's have a look at this. So, in terms of the clean sheets, though, let's end with some positivity in terms of clean sheet news, guys. You know, we talked about some of the negatives. The Glazers potentially staying. The fact Phil Jones is staying. We're still here. And we talked about that. Let's talk about something positive for a change. Here you go. Manchester United have the most clean sheets of any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. Get in there, Erik ten Hag. I credit Harry Maguire for all of this, guys, to be honest. What an absolute captain, legendary captain, guys. He's like the English Vidic, this man, isn't he, in terms of his colossal defensive displays? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm joking. Obviously, he's a complete melter. But he will be featuring heavily between now and the end of the season because we don't have depth and we don't have quality, and Varane and Martinez are injured. But Varane and Martinez have gone a long way, and people like De Gea as well have gone a long way to ensuring that Manchester United have the most clean sheets of any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. Let's get some hashtag applause emojis in the live chat there for Ten Hag and the boys. That is a good achievement. You know, that's a good achievement to be at this stage and have the most clean sheets out of any of the teams. I think that's good. So, and it goes to show you that a lot of people like to criticise people like De Gea. I mean, De Gea probably wouldn't have the most clean sheets in Europe if he was a shit keeper, would he, guys? I think De Gea is an absolute don of a goalkeeper, and he proves it more often than not. And then the defence has obviously been very good this season. People like Varane and Luke Shaw and Martinez and Wan-Bissaka and these sorts of guys, and Dalot. These guys deserve epic credit for the performances they put in this season for us. The midfield has really been a big problem area for us this season. I think that's the most problem area. And the number 9 role has been a big problem area for us. We haven't had the firepower up there. We got Weghorst in January. He's only scored 2. That's been the big problem area. The defence, up until now, where we've got injuries, has not been a problem. The defence has provided a very solid base for Manchester United to play with. The midfield has cost us because we've not had the depth there. When Casemiro and Eriksen are out, we've looked ropey. And up top there with the firepower, it's only been Rashford who's been bagging the goals, really. That's cost us. But the defence has done very, very well this season. And that is just a little comment to say, you know, to say well done to the defence. And Berber's absolutely right. He says those clean sheets are despite Maguire, not because of it, says Berber. And you're absolutely right. You're so right. Again, in the last game against Nottingham Forest, we did get a clean sheet. But you know, it wasn't because of Harry Maguire, was it? He's nearly given away a penalty in the first few minutes. Got himself booked early doors. He was basically a complete liability for us for the entire game. So I agree with you entirely. It's not because of Harry Maguire. It's literally in spite of Harry Maguire. Yeah. Varane is 168 next birthday, says Scout on the wheel. He's actually not, is he? He's only 29 now. Although his knees do have a biological age of 168, to be fair. You know, he has taken a fair share of injuries, and he does get injured quite a lot of the time, and he's not the most available. That is the problem there. Griffo says, just need to stop having these games where we concede 6 or 7. You what, Griffo Chaz? Oh my goodness me, spoken like a true asshole. Anyway, Martinez and Varane has been a good defence partnership, big time. We're going to miss them for the rest of the season, 100%. Vincent says, I'm sure, David, he's going to have a lot of clean sheets. I think his wife uses bold to clean the bed sheets, says Vincent. Jamie says, hashtag stop Maguire abuse. He's a nice person. Yeah, he's a nice person, isn't he? Shit footballer, though. Absolutely terrible footballer. Breeze block of a footballer. Easter Island statue head of a footballer. But yeah, nice guy, though. Anyway. Okay, guys, right, it's 11 o'clock now, guys. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for getting in here and having your say. Make sure you smash that like button at the end of this show now, guys. Get your thoughts and opinions in after this video is finished as well about the topics we've discussed, i.e. the Glazers potentially staying and seeking outside investment. Come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section of this video afterwards. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here and having your say. We are going to wrap it up there, guys, but there's the latest Man United news of the day. Not too much going on, not too much positive stuff at all. But hey, look, that's the news. So those are the reports. Let's hope it's just PR spin. Let's hope it's just guff from the Glazers to try and get the potential bidders for the third round of bidding to up the ante and give them more money. That's probably what it comes down to. That's what I hope anyway. I just hope that whoever's going to buy the club coughs up what they need to get them gone. You know, I don't want the Glazers to make any more money than they should, or that they have to. You know, I want them to just go. But fundamentally, it's not our money. I just want someone to come in and buy the club off of them and take us back to where we need to be. Thank you very much. We want Glazers out. Let's get some hashtag Glazers out in the live chats and some green and gold emojis to end on. Thank you, everybody. We're doing a GTA stream. Thank you, Simon Warners. Lovely stream as usual, Piggy. Can't wait for the next one. Have a good night, Piggy, and you brilliant Red Legends. Thank you. Thank you to all the mods. Thank you to all the members. We're doing a stream over on the other channel now, guys. A GTA stream. Here it is here. I'm going to put it in the live chat. Go over to that. I'm going to pin it to the top. We're on the gaming channel tonight, guys, for a couple of hours. Go and check that out there. It's pinned to the top of live chat. Griffo Chaz says, watch me destroy the pig immediately following this stream. You are going to get it, Griffo Chaz in Los Santos, my son. Anyway, there you go, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Like, subscribe, and comment. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch at Flying Pig United. Check out the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming, where we play games and have a bit of fun as a community. There it is over there in the live chat. That's the link. Go over there, smash that like on the video as well over there on the gaming channel, even if you're not into it, even if you're not going to stick around, just do it. That's the end of the show, guys. Thanks for watching. Hashtag Glazers out. Let's get these charlatans gone as soon as possible. Let's hope that this is just PR guff and that we get the outcome that we want very soon. If not, there'll be mutiny on their hands. I really think that there'll be a huge backlash and a huge protest from the United fan base because we don't want these guys at the club anymore. Simple as that. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Goodbye. Thanks for being here. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.